Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Civil Line. Myself Milan Patel, Assistant Professor at LJIET Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we will start a new chapter which is Building Planning. This is the first lecture of this chapter. In today's lecture we will cover three topics. First we will understand about building planning. Second, concept of plan of a simple residential building. And lastly, we will cover various elementary principles of building planning. So let's start with introduction of building planning. The term planning of a building by an engineer is used to mean the arrangement of all the units of the buildings on all floors and at all levels. It not only includes the horizontal layout but also takes into consideration the heights and levels to accommodate the space enclosed by walls, floors and roofs. The following considerations are kept in mind while building planning. First, people and the requirement. Second, climate and its effects. Third, building bylaws and number of laws of the locality. So what is building planning? It's one type of arrangement of number of rooms into the building. Okay. Now let's move to the second topic of today's lecture, which is concept of plan of a simple residential building. The arrangement of various rooms in the building is known as plan or design of the building. While attempting to the plan of a building, the main criteria is to be constantly kept in mind by the engineer is general scope or the purpose of the building. Why this building is constructed? For what purpose the building is constructed? Okay. To develop plan of a building, sizes of rooms, their location, position of passages and other amenities are considered. Okay. There is the basic plan of a simple residential building in which you can easily show number of living room, bedrooms or store room, study room, bathroom, veranda, water closet, etc. Okay. So this is a simple residential building plan. Now let's move to the number of principles of building planning or number of points to be considered while building planning. It is also called as elementary principles of building planning. There are number of 11 principles of building planning. First is aspect, second is prospect, third is privacy, fourth is grouping, fifth is roominess, sixth is circulation, seventh is elegance, eighth is flexibility, ninth is sanitation, 10th is economy and practical consideration, and the last is furniture requirement. These are the 11 principles of building planning. We will understand these 11 principles one by one. First is aspect. The front room of the building should be located as per their function, utility, keeping in view the direction of sun and wind. A room which receives light and air from the particular direction is said to have aspect of that direction. Okay. There is the basic aspects of all types of rooms. Like kitchen should be located in east direction for proper sun and proper wind direction. Dining room should be located at south direction. Drawing room should be located at south or southeast or northeast direction. Bedroom should be located at southwest, west or southeast direction. Study room should be located at north or northwest direction. Storeroom should be located at north direction. And bathroom or water closet should be located at north or northeast direction. These are the various types of direction based on aspect principles. Okay. This is a very important consideration in planning of building from comfort as well as hygienic consideration. Because of the ventilation, the hygienic in the building is maintained. This aspect can be achieved by proper planning of a building and arranging doors and windows accordingly. Okay. There is one type of direction which gives proper sunlight and wind. Second principle of building planning is prospect. It gives how a building will look if it is viewed from outside. Okay. As well as the placement of opening in front of wall. Opening means number of windows, number of doors will give aesthetic appearance, and on the other hand should conceal some undesirable views from the outside. Okay. Doors and windows should be so located that pleasant and notable features are revealed in the building and undesirable views are concealed. Okay. Like this. Suppose in example number A, two windows are provided, okay, where notable features are revealed, because at different side, one type of you can say slum area is there, so you cannot provide the window at there. Okay, so you have to provide windows where pleasant or notable features like garden is there or a number of hill area is there. Okay, you have to place number of doors and windows in such a way that notable features like gardens, hills, etc. is revealed from the building. One must feel the sense of pride in having the house which is pleasing in appearance and is reflecting its individuality. Okay, that's why prospect principle is important. Now let's move to the third principle of building planning, which is privacy. So why privacy is important? It is one of the essential and important principle of planning. There should be privacy in individual room as part and a building as a whole from other buildings. Okay, we use curtains not only for beauty but also for privacy. Arrangement of doors and windows should be such that privacy can be maintained. Okay, as shown in figure like this. The doors and windows should be such that the privacy can be maintained. If the first case, you can say no privacy and complete room is visible. Okay, if you enter into this room, or the entering person can view whole room. Okay, so no privacy is maintained. If the door is placed at the corner of the wall like this, privacy is improved. Okay, because the entering person only see this part of the room. The corner part is having privacy. Okay, if you provide some veranda or some furniture arrangement here, if you provide some furniture arrangement or shutters, or you can say some veranda portion is there, the privacy is improved. Okay, and entering person can only see this portion of the room. Okay, and whole room get the privacy. In case of residential building, privacy can be secured by carefully planning of the entrance, proper grouping of all the rooms in the correlation, and by providing veranda, corridors or passages suitably. Okay, study room and bedrooms privacy must be maintained in the building. Okay, this is also important. In study room, the privacy in terms of isolation is required, where in bedroom, privacy in terms of sleeping accommodation is required. Okay, that's all about the privacy. Now let's move to the fourth principles of building planning, which is grouping. The name itself suggests, okay, the placing of various rooms or units of a structure in proper correlation of their function and in due proximity with each other is known as grouping. Okay, for example, in residential building, dining room should be close to the kitchen. Okay, at the same time, kitchen should be kept away from main living room to avoid smoke and smells. Okay, so dining room and kitchen is one type of group, where kitchen and living room is not one group. Main bedroom should be so located that there is an independent and separate access from each room towards the sanitary units or bathrooms. Okay, so bedroom and bathroom is also one group. It is observed that grouping leads to saving unnecessary movements in the building. Okay, it improves the economy or the control in the building or proper correlation of the building. Okay, that's all about grouping principle. Now let's move to the fifth principle, which is roominess. The term roominess is used to refer the effect derived from space of a room, like length, width and height. The room's dimension should be such that the maximum use of a room having minimum possible dimensions can be made. Here we understand this roominess principle by this example. If the room is is of square shape like this. Okay, the usable area is 12 meters square and the perimeter of this wall is 16 meter because 4 meter each side. Okay, if you made the room in rectangular form like this, the L by B ratio is 1.3. Okay, the usable area is 12.6. Perimeter is similar, 16 meter, here 16.2 meters, similar. But the usable area is increased. Okay, so rectangular room gives more usable area compared to the square room. Okay, so L by B ratio is most important thing while planning. Okay, if L by B ratio is more than 1.5 like this, 1.77 is also one rectangular room, but here the look of the room is ugly. Okay, so the L by B ratio should be between 1.2 to 1.5 for proper planning of the room. Okay? A length to width ratio should be 1.2 to 1.5. If L by B ratio more than 1.5 gives more cost due to its perimeter being large, and it also gives cramped effect or one type of tunnel effect. Okay, a small room with more height looks awkward. So height is also one important criteria in roominess. Okay, it also should be with length and width. Okay, a small room with more height looks awkward, while a large room has less ceiling height will give very bad effect or very bad impression. Okay, that's all about the roominess. How we can get the dimension of the room, like length, width, and height. Now let's move to the sixth principle of building planning, which is circulation. So what is circulation? The term is used to mean the link between the various rooms and floors of the building. Okay, here circulation is shown in this figure. This portion is called as circulation space. Is also some circulation space. Okay, the proper provision of circulation makes the building compatible and convenient. A room can be divided into two spaces, useful spaces and circulation spaces. Okay, the ratio between circulation space to utilization space should be 1 and 4. If the circulation is on the same floor, it is known as horizontal circulation. It includes veranda, passages, corridors, lobbies and halls. If the circulation is on different floor, it is called as vertical circulation. For vertical circulation, we have to provide number of lifts, okay, number of stairs or staircases are provided. Here in building, vertical circulation should be around 8 to 10% of the floor area of the building. Okay, that's all about the circulation of the building. Okay, now let's move to the seventh principle of building planning, which is elegance. So what is the meaning of elegance? Okay, let's understand. Elegance is related to the effect produced by elevation of the building, which depends upon the proportion of width and height of the building, position of doors and windows, and also the choice of materials. The term elegance is used to create architectural effect by elevation. Architecture design and composition should be studied in as a whole for achieving success in creating an elegant structure. Okay, so elegance is important criteria in building planning. Okay, like elegance is most important in number of commercial building because it attracts number of peoples. Okay, the visualization of elevation should always be kept in mind while preparing the plan. Okay, that's all about elegance of the building. Now let's move to the eighth principle of building planning, which is flexibility. So what is flexibility? It means a room should be so planned for one function that even if required, it can be used for other function. Okay, present and future requirements of family changes as the family expands. Okay, flexibility means planning the room in such a way which, though originally designed for a specific purpose, may be used for other purpose as and when required. Okay, this is called as flexibility. In residential building, also many times to gather large meetings or large gatherings of people, small rooms are converted into big hall by shifting wooden partitions. So wooden partition is one type of flexibility criteria. Okay. That's all about flexibility of building. Okay. Number 9 is sanitation. It means to make provision for light, ventilation, thermal comfort, consideration and other services. In lighting, it is important for the point of view of illumination and hygiene. It may be natural light or artificial lights. In ventilation, it is a system of supplying or removing air by natural or mechanical means to or from any enclosed space to create and maintain compatible conditions. Okay. Cleanliness is also included in sanitation. The accumulation of dust is injurious to health and it allows the growth of bacteria and spread of diseases. It is therefore necessary to make the provision of ornamental moldings, skirtings, cornices, etc. and give very plain treatment for the interior of the rooms. Sanitary units or one type of bathrooms or water closets. This includes sanitary conveniences such as water closets, bathrooms, urinals, toilets, etc. Okay, this is all included in sanitation principles. So this is also planned before construction of the building. Okay, so sanitation criteria is also to be considered while building planning. Next is economy and practical considerations. Okay, before constructing any building, they have to find out the estimated cost of the building and maintain the economy or prepare the economical building. For that, number of factors affecting economy is required. A building should have minimum floor area with maximum utility for achieving economy. It will reduce the cost and hence will be economical. Economy should not be achieved at the cost of strength of the material. Otherwise, the useful life of the building will reduce. Okay. The provision for future expansion, alteration may be considered if required. Economy can be achieved by reducing the cost in the elevation of the building. It can also be achieved by reducing the flow height of the building and also by proper planning or by proper roominess of the building. Roominess means you can say in a minimum area, maximum usable space is provided. This is all about economy of the building. And the last principle of building planning is furniture requirement. Okay. Furniture requirement should be considered before constructing any room or any building, because furniture is the functional requirement of a room. Every room of a residential unit has to perform certain functions for which necessary furniture items are required. It should be seen that placing, type, size and extent of such furniture items do not obstruct doors, windows and circulation area. Okay. Thus, the furniture requirements of various rooms should be considered while building planning, because after building planning, it should not obstruct number of doors, windows, etc. Okay, that's all about furniture requirement of the building. That's all about elementary principles of building planning. I hope you all understand these three topics: introduction of building planning, what is building planning, why building planning is important. Okay, the concept of a simple residential building, okay, in which number of components of buildings are understood, like living room, bedroom, bathroom, veranda, water closets, etc. And 11 principles of building planning. See you soon in the next lecture. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Civil Line. Thank you.